there's that. We go over here to the Mariners, and we're getting very, very close to opening day. By the time that you see this, it is 3 days out from opening day. J.P. Crawford days out from opening day. So we will get right to things here. We won't mess around too much as spring training wraps up. We go over here to this past week in spring training games. March 18th at the Texas Rangers was a 9-5 win. Our player of the game, left fielder Dom Canzone. Canzone continues to hit the ball well in spring. 1 hit, 1 run, 3 RBIs on the day on 1 homer. March 19th versus the Colorado Rockies was a 12-3 victory. Our player of the game, shortstop Dylan Moore. Demo continues to show a little bit as well as one of the super utility players off the bench for the Mariners. 3 hits, 2 runs, 4 RBIs, and 1 homer on the day for the guy who can play just about any position. March 21st, the Mariners get back into action versus the Cincinnati Reds. That is a 7-6 victory. Our player of the game, second baseman Ryan Bliss, 1 hit, 1 run, 3 RBIs, and 1 homer on the day. Go over here to March 22nd. That's a split squad game. The home game at Peoria against the Milwaukee Brewers was a 4-4 tie. Our player of the game, left fielder Taylor Trammell, T-Tram, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 RBIs, and 1 homer on the day. Nice to see Taylor Trammell get that. And then the away game was also a tie, so we had a double tie that day, I believe, thanks to our friend Alex Mayer over at Mariners PR. Great stats wizard, does a lot of good stuff with that. Some folks call him a nerd. I don't blame them. I believe it's, according to him, the first time that the Mariners have tied both games in spring training on the same day. So that's pretty funny. Our player of the game from that Diamondbacks tie is second baseman Brock Rodden. Rodden, 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 RBI, and 1 homer on the day. March 23rd featured this game at the Chicago White Sox, but it also featured the spring breakout game. We will encourage you to go to either our website at circlingseattlesports.com or the Where We Converge blog to go see our recap of that spring breakout game. Trying to push you to our blogs a little bit there. March 23rd at the White Sox, though, in the game that the big leaguers played, was an 8-2 victory. Our player of the game, left fielder Dom Canzone, once again. Canzone, 2 hits, 1 run, 2 RBIs, and another homer on the week. In the first game of the weekend against a Chicago-based team. The other one, March 24th, yesterday, versus the Chicago Cubs. Another tie. I believe, if I'm correct, that's 4 ties on the spring for the Mariners. A 9-9 tie. We had 2 players of the game in this one just because nice to see their impacts and moving the offense along. First, outfielder Mitch Haniger. Haniger, 2 hits, 3 runs, 1 RBI, and 1 walk. Mitch ends the spring like he began it with a homer. Nice to see that. And looking forward to a lot of Mitch homers, whether it's Mitch Haniger or Mitch Garver at T-Mobile Park and during the regular season as a whole. The other player of the game that we had for this tie against the Chicago Cubs was Luke Raley. Raley playing first base in this game. We've had a little bit of that lately because of the fact that Ty France and his wife Maggie are expecting. So Ty might be on some paternal leave to begin the season. Best of luck to them on that. He missed a game a few days ago because of this. And I believe that the Mariners are letting him be a little bit cautious with it, and I don't blame him. So Raley's had a tough spring. It's nice to see him come in here and be productive in this game. 2 hits and 3 RBIs on the day for the former Tampa Bay Ray. We'll go straight into injury-related news here. March 21st, we got news that Gregory Santos will have an MRI in the next few days to see if the inflammation in his strained lat has calmed down enough for him to resume a throwing program. The plan is for both Santos and Brash to stay back in Peoria, in Arizona, to continue to work on that. And they're trying to get back to their throwing programs, as both of them aren't going to be ready for opening day, as we have previously talked about. From there, we'll go straight into team-related news. On the 18th, to just about nobody's surprise, we learned that Luis Castillo was going to be the team's opening day starter on March 28th against the Boston Red Sox. Then we had some other roster moves as we continue to chip away towards an opening day roster. Jonathan Clase was optioned to AAA Tacoma, so excited to see the prospect who hit 20 homers and stole 70 bases last year, a feat that hadn't been accomplished since 1961. I believe that's the right stat. Goes to the closest affiliate to the major leagues. And then pitcher Ty Buttrey was reassigned to minor league camp on the 19th. Continuing with those roster moves, outfielder Cade Marlowe has been optioned to AAA Tacoma. tough for Cade. I know some folks were really excited to see him with a big league club just because of what he's shown last year and some things he'd done this spring as well. There's just not a spot for him right now, and it's good to have him in Tacoma just a call away. And then pitcher Joey Kriebel was also reassigned to minor league camp. The next day, March 21st, right-handed pitcher Casey Lawrence was reassigned to minor league camp, and relief pitcher Carlos Vargas was optioned to AAA Tacoma. So a guy that's got some good stuff. The Mariners just want him to hone it. They're going to see if he can do that down with the Rainiers so that he can be a call away as well for the big league club and be another sort of flamethrower out of the bullpen. On the 22nd, continuing with that, infield prospect Ryan Bliss and pitcher Jonathan Diaz were both reassigned to the minor league camp. And then on the 23rd, young pitching prospect Emerson Hancock and infielder/outfielder Samad Taylor were both optioned to Tacoma. Two guys, again, like a few of these guys, Bliss, Class A, Vargas, guys that I could easily see called up at some point. And then catcher Michael Papirski was optioned to minor league camp. So you look at it here, we're wrapping things up. Again, I talked about it in the weeks previously. I don't really imagine that there's going to be a ton of surprises with this Mariners opening day roster. There might be a few guys who have started to earn their way into the bullpen spots that we've got, but you look at some of the position players, the infield and the outfield, it looks like, we're pretty set on what's going to happen here. It's unfortunate Taylor Trammell doesn't have any options. I don't imagine he's making the opening day roster. He probably has to get put on waivers, which is unfortunate because I'm sure some team will want to scoop him up. I'm not expecting there to really be any surprises here. But we won't know the opening day roster until after these two exhibition games that the Mariners are going to play against the San Diego Padres at Petco Park because, with Scott Service talked about this at spring training a little bit ago. I believe it was this past week that with AAA Tacoma opening their season, I believe is the day after opening day for the Mariners, they can really push it with that opening day roster and when they announce that. So, mostly positive. We've seen some consistent offense from this offense. We've seen some consistent offense from this lineup. We talked about it last week. If guys can stay healthy, that's the big thing. If they can hit the baseball well, so I feel good about it. I feel good about where your pitching's at. It's hard to not when you've got the rotation that you do. Emerson Hancock's a call away. You've got a few options in Tacoma for the bullpen as well, and you're still trying to see some guys like Santos, like Brash get fully healthy. So I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged for the start of the season. I know there was some discourse about it on the Bird app or the former Bird app, whatever you want to call it, but if you can have a solid start, not a great, doesn't have to be great. You can have a solid start to the season in these first few months. You can set yourself up for the future because, again, we look at it, not just last year, but even in the years past, this team's been a game or two away from the playoffs multiple times. So if you can get some of these games, maybe it's in March here with a few of the games at the end of the month of March here, in April, in the start of May, you could set yourself up better for the future. So just a thought. I know some folks said it was a bad way to watch baseball, but is it wrong necessarily? I don't know. We look.
So, Colt, I just want to ask you first, just kind of silly. I talked to you about it right before we started, your broadcast booth experience. Is there a future there when your long baseball career ends, or is that just something that just was fun to have?
No, that was a fun thing. I haven't really thought about it. Hopefully I don't have to do broadcast. Hopefully I can make a career out of baseball. So, yeah, hopefully never again, but I wouldn't mind going back up there. That was a good time.
I want to ask you a little bit about some of your draft mates, and Ty and Johnny. Obviously, folks are really excited about you three.
Oh, yeah.
You've got your own, I know you worry about your own stuff, but how much have you interacted with those guys, and is there any sort of bond that you guys share, being in the same draft class, obviously with Modesto and stuff like that?
We got drafted in the first round together. We lived together for 4 months. We're as close as brother and brother, So, yeah. It's been great.
Who were you able to learn from this spring? Because obviously I believe it's your first spring with the guys like this. Who were you able to pick from, just some of those minds at the big league level that this team's got?
Man, everybody was just so great. I wasn't sure how the connection was going to be between the minor league and big leaguers, but there was just there's a connection there, and they were super nice. They were super forward, giving us advice. Like, it's been amazing. I can't even name just one or two people. Like,
Yeah.
there was a bunch of people that played a role. The big league staff, minor league staff, big league players, minor league. Like, it's just all mixed in together. It's great.
We obviously had the spring breakout yesterday. What can you, I mean, obviously, again, you're worrying about your own self. We talked about Ty and Johnny, but what can you say about the prospects that this, because there's a lot of talent up and down the board,
Yeah.
that's going to be spread throughout the system. What can you say about the guys that you were sharing camp with the last few weeks and months?
Those guys are amazing. The Mariners fans should be nothing but excited for the future. I mean, seriously, like, the future is so bright for us, and it's just amazing to see, and I'm just so thankful to be part of it.
And then just to wrap up, is there anything that, obviously we had you here last year, did the big introduction. Is there anything that you want Mariners fans to know about you as you, get ready for this year's minor league season?
Yeah. I am extremely excited to play in front of the Mariner fan group. You guys are just amazing, and I'm just so excited to play in front of you guys.
Last row, I just wanted to ask you, you had a really exciting year last year in Modesto. There was a lot of fun, especially with that guy and Johnny Farmello. Just wanted to ask you to kind of how you felt about last season and what you accomplished last year.
La verdad que fue un año bien excepcional, fue un año bastante emocionante. El verlo a ellos llegar y jugar de esa manera fue algo maravilloso, inexplicable.
You know, it was an exceptional year. We did great things, and seeing those guys come in and just being able to perform the way that they did was just, it surprised me. It was exceptional.
Asked Colt about this, and you've talked about Jordan and looking up to him and how he hits, but, being in big league camp with the Mariners, is there anybody that you try to pick up from this year or talk to at spring training and try to get tips from them, or is it just kind of soaking everything in?
Has hablado de Jordan, que lo has visto ahora que estás no interactuando con los jugadores de la Liga de los Marineros. ¿Hay alguien que te ha gustado, que has tratado de conseguir algunos consejos? ¿O nomás estás ahí tratando de consumir todo?
Definitivamente uno siempre trata de conseguir todo porque cada uno tiene cosas que enseñarte, de cada alguna persona tiene cosas que aprender. Pero la verdad me ha sorprendido mucho Julio, la verdad su energía y todas las cosas es algo muy emocionante y muy agradable de ver.
When I'm in there, I'm really just trying to soak it all in because every one of these players has something that they can teach you, and I have something to learn from every one of them. But another guy that I've seen was Julio, the vibes and the energy that he's bringing is something that I really look up to.
I know a lot of people are looking forward to the vibes you bring. There was a few videos of you dancing last year during the season. How excited are you just to get back to baseball, to get back to games that matter, and continue to move up through the Mariners minor league system?
Han hablado también de buenas vibras. Hay estos videos de contigo bailar en la temporada pasada, pero ¿qué tan emocionado estás ahora comenzar este próximo año y conseguir, sabes, ya seguir subiendo en ese sistema? ¿Qué tan emocionado, qué buscas tú?
La verdad que estoy bien emocionado, como le digo, me siento mucho más preparado por todos los consejos que he obtenido y toda la preparación que tuve en el off-season. La verdad que fue algo sumamente maravilloso y estoy bien emocionante, bien preparado, con la misma energía, incluso más.
Yeah, I'm very excited for this season to come. I've worked on a lot of stuff during the off season. I've gotten tips from major leaguers. I've worked on my stuff. So I'm very excited to put all that stuff in the field and bring, if not the same energy I brought last year, but more energy than
It's exciting. And then just to wrap you up, see Colt over there. I mean, you've been with a couple of guys like Johnny, Ty, Pete. How exciting is to have so many young and talented prospects in the system? We had the spring breakout game yesterday. There's a lot to look forward to, and you guys are the future of this franchise. So how exciting is it, I guess, to just have so many talented guys around you?
Johnny Farmello, ves el sistema de los marineros, tienen un gran talento. ¿Qué tan emocionado estás tú sabiendo que viene este grupo de los que vienen los próximos años?
La verdad es que estoy sumamente emocionado de verdad todos esos muchachos. Soy muchacho también, pero es emocionante verlos a ellos que son jóvenes con gran talento y que le gusta ganar, competir, es algo maravilloso de ver.
You know, it's a very exciting group seeing these young guys. You know, I'm a young guy myself, but seeing the talent that this team has, it really gets me a little motivated. You know, what the talent's coming up. You know, just motivated and ready for what's coming next.
Now here to the upcoming schedule. As I mentioned, by the time that this comes out, we are 3 days away from opening day. The Mariners spring training record sits at a 13-win, 13-loss, 4-tie record. They have those 2 exhibition games in San Diego that I mentioned at Petco Park. They're exhibition games. They aren't technically spring training, I don't think, but just considering the nature of them, they might as well have been spring training. March 25th at the San Diego Padres tomorrow. No, that's today. I apologize. Is a 6:40 start. From what I understand, these games should be broadcast on Root Sports, from what I could find. So don't shoot the messenger, but that's what I was looking for. Sorry, looking at something here. And then the next game, March 26th, is a 1:10 start. So March 25th, a 6:40 start. March 26th, a 1:10 start. Trying to pull up some information here, and I'm getting issues. There we go. Okay. And then we go over here to this slide with the regular season. So this weekend, opening day, Thursday, March 28th versus the Boston Red Sox, a 7:10 first pitch. Luis Castillo takes the mound. It is opening day. Ichiro Suzuki will be presenting Julio Rodriguez with his Silver Slugger Award. For this past year, Nelson Cruz is throwing out the first pitch. All the festivities, all that. It'll be great. March 29th, Friday versus the Red Sox, and March 30th versus the Red Sox are both 6:40 p.m. first pitches. And then to close out that 4-game series against the Red Sox, that opening series, and continue pushing with the homestand, as after this 4-game series against the Red Sox, they'll play a 3-game series to end the homestand against the Cleveland Guardians. March 31st, Sunday, is a 1:10 start against those Boston Red Sox.